and shot up right here in my neck.
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes later, my eye blows out my face.
Just
Shattered, like just hits the windshield. I was in the backseat of a Grand Am.
welcome everyone, and this is Me to We Productions, where we share with you the recovery stories of others so that you may help create your own. If you wish to follow Recover Out Loud, you can join us on our website at recoveroutloudinc.com, where you will find all of our events and gatherings, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if you like what you see, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and share this video. Today, we are going to get loud with Chris Rousey here. And Chris, I'd like to ask you, why do you want to do this today?
Because I want to help somebody else.
All right. Well, that's a good reason to do this. One of the main reasons why we get on Me to We is to share your story, because I know you got a lot of hope out there to give. So I want to go all the way back to your childhood here, and kind of get into why do you think addiction happened to you?
Well, my childhood wasn't a bad one. I was raised in a decent home, a church-going home. I had my ups and downs. My parents went through a divorce when I was probably 10. I lived with my mom for a while. I wasn't very, how you gonna put it? Wasn't a very polite kid.
You were a polite kid?
We're not.
You were not a polite kid.
I kind of like two-faced it. I was okay with certain places, and then other places I just done what I wanted because it was just the way I wanted to be.
So you think that? So you said you were raised up in a church family.
Yes.
Your upbringing wasn't all that bad, but your parents did go through a divorce.
Yes.
Around 10 years old.
Yes, I seen some things I probably shouldn't have.
Okay. During that divorce, like was it anger?
A little bit before.
A little bit before the divorce. What were some of those things?
I got thrown through a plate glass window.
By
my dad.
By your dad? And why did he do that?
Because I tried to stop him from hitting my mom.
All right. Do you think this had any kind of impact on you as a kid with having the anger issues, or?
I think so. It has. I thought it was okay.
So you thought it was okay to hit women?
At that time, yeah.
And this is, how old are you at this point?
Probably about 10 or 11.
You're about 10, 11 years old. So after the divorce, did you just act out in anger? When did drug come into play? Was you just kind of resentful for a while?
Drugs didn't come into play until I was probably about 15 or 16.
Okay.
It was stealing beer from my dad and stuff like that, and smoking weed with people I went to school with. But it was more along the lines of first things first was cigarettes.
Cigarettes first. What age did you start that?
12.
About 12. Why do you think you did that?
Because everybody else is doing it.
That's a good answer. So everybody else is doing it. So at this point, so you're 12 years old. You've seen your dad hitting on your mom. You went through a divorce. Everybody else is starting to do is you're just going to smoke cigarettes because everybody else is doing it. Going back to that kid that's 12 years old, how do you think all this affected you then?
I thought I was the one doing something wrong.
Oh, okay.
Because like I said, I wasn't the best kid in the world. Mm-hmm. My grades was okay in school. Really didn't do a whole lot of sports. I was overweight. I just wasn't a popular person.
So do you think you were predestined to become an addict, or do you think you were just born this way?
It's somewhat both.
Somewhat both?
A little bit both.
So how were you predestined?
Well, my dad is I don't know if he just still drinks now, but my dad was an alcoholic.
Okay.
I don't think they dabbled in drugs too much. I think my mom might have smoked some weed or something, but my dad probably committed suicide later on down the road when I was in boys' school, actually. And that kind of took a little bit of toll on me for when I didn't do nothing while I was in boys' school or nothing, but he drank a lot and before the divorce and all this other stuff. I remember, probably when I was 8 or 9, we'd go sit at my dad's friend's house and watch them get drunk while me and their kids play on the video games and stuff like that. They were out there playing cards, drinking, and doing things that adults should be doing at that time with their kids not around.
Okay,
so put it that way.
I find this interesting, and I'll tell you why. Because with me, I was raised in a good home. Now, I never seen my dad hit on my mom or nothing. But what you're explaining right now, I watched my dad drink for years. I don't really think my dad was an alcoholic, but he exemplified that this was how you had fun as an adult. And I seen this at 8 or 9 years old. So do I think I was predestined to become an addict? Maybe a little bit, because you are the leaders in your life, your examples, you tend to go that way. But you said a little bit of both. So how do you feel you were born this way?
Because it runs a lot in my family. On my mom's side, both my uncles and my grandpa are severe alcoholics. I remember probably along the lines of 8 and 12, I went to go stay with my uncle because he was a construction worker. He took a circular saw and cut his leg right here.
Okay.
And I mean deep. Remember going to his house, helping him with his bandages. Hey, go get me a beer. Give me a beer.
Uh-huh.
You can have one if you want it. Stuff like that.
So you're going through that at a pretty young age. So so you had a lot of alcoholism in your family. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Alcoholism. Did you have any fear of becoming an alcoholic yourself?
No,
or having...
I thought I was functional.
You thought you were functional? Do you think you thought you were functional because you seen your family members being functional?
It wouldn't be. I did it for fun at the beginning, but like later on down the road, like when I was like 18, 19, I thought I was functional. Do it on weekends, I'd recuperate and go back until I started getting in trouble.
So when did harder drugs come into play for you?
About 21.
So that's quite a while.
Yeah.
So you started smoking cigarettes at 12, but not hard drugs till 21. But you started drinking before the hard drugs.
Oh yeah, I drank like a fish.
Like a fish. So were you an alcoholic?
At one point in time, yes.
At one point in time, how'd you know?
Because when that was more important than doing anything else. I mean, I was work drunk at one point in time, and I'm not gloating about this either because I'm not proud of it either.
Right.
But I drank about a case of beer every day and a half gallon of wild turkey.
And this is before harder drugs.
Hard drugs, yes.
When you say functioning, what does that mean to you? What do you mean by functioning?
I still went to work. At 21, I had my first kid. I drank then, and I drank on the weekends, but I still took care of my kids.
Okay, all the way up to 21. So when did you become not functioning?
Like I said, I wasn't married to my kids' mom. I do the child support thing and visitations, but I wasn't granted visitations all the time either.
Okay.
I was my kids was taken, but held away from seeing me.
Okay, so this is because of your drug use or alcohol.
Because she wasn't getting child support, or I wasn't doing what she wanted.
Okay, so she's not getting the child support or getting what she wants, but is that because of your drinking, or is it just?
I wouldn't say the payments was because it's just where I wasn't working. Sometimes the whole time I paid child support, I think there's maybe a total out of the whole time a year that I did not work.
What was your self-image of yourself around this time?
A rebel. I'd do anything and everything.
Anything and everything, as in?
Not stay out and party with people. probably, no, it's not probably, but just cause all kinds of trouble.
And do you so looking back, where did this come from? Because to me that feels like resentment. It feels like anger. It feels like ego almost. Like, I'm going to do what I want and I don't care. But something in you had to care, but you were acting out like this anyways.
The drinking was because I wanted to bottle up the feelings that I had because I wasn't able to see my kids. I couldn't get along with my kids' mom. It was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. When did harder drugs come to play, and how and why?
When my teeth started going away.
Oh, okay.
I got dentures.
Okay. So, did the alcohol lead to that, to your teeth?
It was from smoking, not brushing my teeth as a kid. I tell my parents to brush my teeth, and I just wet my toothbrush and stick it on the thing, and they think I'd brush my teeth.
Okay.
I didn't care. I let them go away.
So you start seeing this deterioration in yourself, and that's when you start doing like meth and coke and things like that, or?
Well, it was more along the lines. I went all the way up to 9th grade in Greensburg at the junior high or the high school. At one point in time, I was only going to school for an hour. That was it, every other day.
Okay.
For math class.
Uh-huh.
Lo and behold, you need math every day. So
right.
that's the only class I passed in homeroom, but I never stayed for homeroom. Always left.
Okay.
I went to boys' school not too long after that.
For?
Not listening to my parents. My dad pressed charges against me, I know every bit of, probably 40, 50 times.
For not listening?
Not doing as he tells me to. It was called incorrigibility.
Okay. And you actually go to boys' school over this?
Yeah, he sent me to boys' school for 6 months.
How was that experience?
I stayed for a year, a little over a year.
Was it, did you like it?
At first I was scared.
Scared? And then you just got comfortable?
Somewhat.
Did it have any kind of impact on you?
I lost a lot of weight.
That's it? So you come out and you're just the same person, just...
I was scared at first, but I was on house arrest then too.
Okay.
We had to box in the house and this, that, and the other, but I lived with my grandparents. I didn't live with my dad. Mm-hmm. My dad didn't want me to live with him. I got emancipated before I got out.
All right. So did you catch a criminal history?
Before I went to boys' school, I had, I think, like 15 felonies and like 30-something misdemeanors.
So let's get into that a little bit. So you said 15 felonies. That's a lot of felonies.
A lot of it was for battery.
Battery on?
Other people.
Just fighting?
Yep.
Would you start these fights?
Sometimes.
Sometimes not?
Sometimes not. I got picked on a lot because I was overweight.
Okay.
And that's another reason why I wanted to fit in. So that's where smoking weed and drinking a lot also came from.
All right. Now I think so you wanted to fit in. I think that's why I was trying to get on your self-image earlier, because I think we get on these images of who we are, what we want to be, and it drives a lot of our behavior. If you were getting so from what I'm picking up on, this is what I'm hearing your father and your mother getting divorced young. I know your father was an alcoholic. You say you were overweight, you were getting picked on. Lots of reasons to really be angry. And I think, just listen to your own story and kind of comparing what I know with my own story, this will be a lot of where, just your ego and stuff's coming, almost like you're trying to protect yourself in a way. And the batteries and the felonies and then the I don't cares and I'll do whatever it takes, whatever, is a way of kind of getting back, What do you think?
I done it at first. When I got in trouble, I was like, man, not again. This is what I go through. There's been several times my own family told on me. I was in the vehicle with them drunk on New Year's for I think like 3 years in a row. I went to jail for PI.
Okay.
And minor consumption too.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty horrendous for like 3 years in a row. My grandparents looked at me like I was awful. And there's many times that they wouldn't bail me out. I had to sit in jail. There's times that I've done weekends, stuff like that before I got my license. I drove when I wasn't supposed to, got in wrecks, stuff like that. But I wasn't drinking or anything. It's just driving, acting stupid, showing off.
So what ended up being your drug of choice?
Meth.
Meth? What was it like the first time you used meth? And why did you do it?
I got a burst of energy like you have no belief. And everybody said, man, you'll lose weight. You'll look great. I got lied to.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did.
But
So I can only imagine going back to that moment when you used meth for the first time. You got this energy, and you've obviously struggled with weight, as an adolescent. That thought could get that going real quick, and you could be off the races like that.
Oh, I was.
How long did you spend being a meth addict?
Since the age of like 23.
23? Was that the age you first used it?
I started at 21 and I used it, and it was just kind of hard to get to.
Okay. Did you still drink while using meth?
I done pain pills more than I did anything. Because, like I said, when I got my teeth taken out, before I had my actual teeth worked on within like a 7-month span, I had 100 and something prescriptions of pain meds.
So they say addiction's progressive.
Oh, it got bad.
Yes. Well, I can see where the cigarettes led to alcohol, where the alcohol led to meth, and then the meth seems to have led to pain pills now.
Pain pills was first.
Pills was first.
It was smoking, alcohol, pain pills, then meth. Because once I tried meth, I didn't want pain pills no more.
Okay.
I didn't care about nothing else but meth. That was it.
What was that obsession like?
The one of it every day?
Yeah.
I had to have it to function.
You got to where you had to, you needed it to function? Because I've heard that, because I wasn't a meth addict. So something I've heard about methamphetamine is it's not a physical thing, that it's all in your head. So you said you needed to function. Did you need it just to be able to think straight?
Somewhat, because at one point in time, I can remember, this is probably about 2-3 years into it, I would shake real bad if I was going without. And I'd shoot up.
So there was some physical withdrawal to it?
To me, there was, yes.
To you, there was.
And as soon as I got some in my body, or in my veins or whatever, I was calm.
And you said you started to shoot it up.
I smoked for probably right around 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then I shot up for 5 years.
5 years. What was that like?
I'd done it in the same spot every day.
Every single day?
Every single day.
Did the obsession get stronger and deeper when you progressed to that?
I got angrier.
You got angrier?
Yeah.
Wow. And then I know something very significant happened to you from shooting up methamphetamine. Can we get into that story a little bit?
Christmas Eve of this year would have been 3 years. So 3 years ago on Christmas Eve, in Greensburg at Vista Village, actually, as a matter of fact, I went to go get dope. I call meth dope at the time. Some people would call it different, but I called meth dope. I went to go get some, and I handed some of my $20. They turned around. I never thought nothing about it because I've known the person forever. They turned around and handed me that, and I already had my rig with me. I loaded it and shot up right here in my neck. 20 minutes later, my eye blows out of my face.
This
shattered, like hits the windshield. I was in the back seat of a Grand Am. That projectile that far, it hit the windshield.
So what was going through your mind when you seen this happen?
I didn't really see it. I mean, I felt it.
Right.
I thought I was dying.
You did?
Yeah.
So did you feel there was other feelings going on inside your body?
I felt like I had my life flash before my face.
Was this your rock bottom?
Nope.
Why do you think this wasn't even enough?
Because, let's see, they put a PICC line in me. Well, they took me to Greensburg Hospital, an hour and a half after it blew out of my face. I had to take people home, so to speak, because they have warrants for the arrest. So I had to take them home before I could go to the hospital. They wouldn't do it because they was afraid they was going to go to jail.
Of course.
An hour and a half later, I went to Greensburg. They put Dilaudid.
Okay.
Dilaudid. A big old shot of it because I told that lady if she didn't put something in my arm to make me stop hurting so bad, I was going to hurt her. It wasn't just trying to get high or nothing like that. I was in some severe pain, and I wasn't even high before I shot up. Because when I shot up, I didn't feel nothing besides an instant migraine.
Wow. So you said this, so this ain't even enough to make you stop.
No, because like I said, they transferred me to Methodist Hospital, and I wasn't even at Methodist an hour. And the people that rode up behind the ambulance, I told them to give me some dope. And I shot up there in the hospital.
In the neck again?
Nope. And I had a pickle in my arm.
Oh, okay. So, when did it finally become enough? What was your rock bottom?
When I went to jail, November 12th of 2017.
And why was this your rock bottom?
Because I was facing a dealing charge. I got arrested February 28th of 2017.
Okay.
For dealing methamphetamine.
Okay.
Possession, no seatbelt, drive while suspended, maintaining common nuisance or something like that. One of them, it's either maintaining or the other one for common nuisance.
Okay.
Well, I got out, wasn't even in jail 7 days. I got bailed out. It's like, man.
On a dealing charge?
On a dealing charge.
Okay.
So I could beat this, no problem. Well, let's see. Like beginning October, this is right before I got clean. I shot up 2 grams at once. Woke up 7 days later, don't remember nothing.
Dang.
It scared me out.
And you're out on bail when this happened.
Out on bail, and this is right before I got arrested. I was scared to death. I said I don't want to mess with no more. I was pretty close to about 3 weeks clean when I went to jail.
Okay, so you actually got some clean time in before you finally. So you ended up going back to jail.
Yeah, I picked up a bag from my kids' mom's house because I didn't have a home. I didn't have anything.
So you've lost it all.
I lost everything. All I had was a couple bags of clothes, a bicycle that I rode everywhere, and that was it. But I went to go pick up a bag from her. I went with my ex-girlfriend, and there was a pipe in there. I totally spaced it.
Mm-hmm.
It barely had anything registered on it, and they got me for possession and paraphernalia.
While out on bond?
Yep.
So that's scary.
It is.
So you go back to jail. So at this point, you're starting to think you want something different. You got 3 weeks clean in, right?
It's closer to a month, but yeah.
Closer to a month. What happens with the court case?
Well, first they screwed my bond up. I was sitting there for 3 months. They screwed my bond up because like I said, I was out on bond, and they told me that it's like, can you afford bail? And it's like, not at that price, but I already put in one of them little request forms to have my bail modified. Well, they didn't do nothing, and my lawyer took and didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the judge didn't hear quite a bit of it either. So I turned around and I had to write the judge a letter and explain to him what was going on. They brought me back into court January 2nd of the next year and turned around and I don't know what I want to do with you yet. And I came back in 2 days later and he said, can you get a job? I said, yeah, why? I'm going to let you out on pretrial release. Let me out on pretrial release. I was on house arrest for 5 months. I stayed at a halfway house, which was horrible.
What house was this?
The Grace House in Shelbyville.
Okay. And why was it such a bad experience?
Because people was using.
But you managed to stay clean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, on my house arrest, if I felt anything or do anything stupid, I go to prison for 6 years.
Right.
And they'll take backup time and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm too pretty to go to prison.
That's right. So with this loaded gun above your head of 6 years, you're actually trying to act right.
I want to act right for the rest of my life.
For the rest of your life. So something has actually flipped here.
Yes.
Have you ever done significant time before?
No, maybe a day.
Maybe a day. So this kind of time has you thinking this is serious consequences of your addiction.
Yes.
So you're at the Grace House. You're seeing people use still, and you're staying clean. How are you managing to stay clean in an unclean environment?
First 90 days, I went to 357 meetings.
357 meetings.
Yes.
Why was that so significant for you to do? Why do you need 357 meetings in 90 days?
Because they always tell you meeting makers make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a job. I was on house arrest. They let me go anywhere for that recovery house because, they was linked with house arrest there in Shelbyville.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to stay clean.
Did you learn anything in those 357 meetings?
Yeah.
What was some of the most significant lessons that you learned?
Don't do drugs.
That's a good lesson to learn.
Patience.
Okay.
I live by the serenity prayer I still do today. If I can't change it, I don't stress over it. Because to me, stress is the leading one cause for me to relapse.
All right. So you said, that's good. So you said if you can't change it, basically let it go. When you were in active addiction, did you have a different attitude on that?
Very much so.
Uh-huh.
I stressed over everything, worried, paranoia, you name it. It was bad.
But on this side of things, you've learned to just say, I'm not dealing with that.
Nobody, I changed my people, places, and things. I still have people that I talk to that are in active addiction, but I like them from over there. They stay in their own lane.
And you have a little over 2 years clean now. And you just said people, places, and things. How vital is it to actually do that, to truly actually change your people, places, and things? How has that helped you in your own recovery?
Well, when I first came into the meetings and stuff like that, somebody told me to find a sponsor. And I found one. And he told me this, and it's stuck with me ever since I've been in recovery. I have the willingness that he's never seen in anybody ever. And he's been doing this for almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you try every day to do something better. You do positive things for people. You help people. When I first met you, I've had a lot of people tell me that I don't look like I'd be a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
They run away from me. And it's not because just the eye, because I've had this since October.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said I scared them before. Some guy walk up to you it's missing an eye, would kind of make you nervous. You don't know how he lost it or anything like that. And when you find out and you hear the backstory, it's kind of different. But it's just.
How does that make you feel?
On what part?
That people might have a fear of you that they shouldn't have.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I laugh at it.
Was it different then?
Like when I was still in active
Mm-hmm.
use? No, because I didn't care.
Didn't care? So really you didn't care then, you really don't care now.
No.
Right? But you have a good heart now.
I have a way better heart.
So you're at the Grace House, you make it through that.
A month.
But you still have a case coming up, right? At this point. So you get out of the Grace House, you do the 357 meetings in 90 days. So I think recovery can be just as progressive as addiction, and I see you're on the right path here. What happens after the Grace House?
Well, I stayed with a sponsor for around 6 months because I couldn't afford my own home.
Okay.
I went to a job at Honda. When they found out that I had a felony, they fired me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's whatever. It's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get mad. I didn't give up. I was without a job for maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I landed the job I got now, which they'll hire a felon the day you commit it. It don't matter.
And what job's that?
Indiana Precision Forge in Shelbyville.
Okay. How long you been there?
If you count my tent time, a little over 2 years.
Okay.
Well, almost 2 years.
All right. So you got that job, and you said you couldn't afford your own place, but I know you got a place today.
I do.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you've actually recovered?
I have custody of my son.
Mm-hmm. How did that feel when that happened?
To me, honestly, it wasn't shocking.
It wasn't?
No, because I knew it was going to happen.
That's good. How's the relationship with you and your son today?
It's still new because I've had him for almost 2 years. Like I said, a lot of this stuff got piled on me as soon as I got out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. There's probably 5 years of my son's life I haven't been around. And it's not just because of the drug use. Because when I was working in Greensburg as a functioning addict, I wasn't shooting dope, I was smoking dope. There wasn't a day that I missed work. I mean, I was wired, but I still went to work and stuff, but I was still in my kids' life, feeding them, taking care of them. But I was still doing what I needed to do to just keep my buzz going.
What do you think are some of the main differences in you, in your addiction, in your recovery?
I'm honest, trustworthy, dependable, respected in somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I mean, I've been judged. Judgmental people kind of like get to me a little bit. Like when people judge me for who I am and what I've done, and they don't get the whole story, I do tend to just back away from them because to me, I don't need that kind of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
They can think what they want, but I'm going to show everybody in this world that I'm not the same person I used to be. I'm better.
Yes, you are.
Not better than anybody else, but I'm better than what I used to be.
So you competing with you?
Every day.
Every day. What's happened with your court case?
I've got 6 years house arrest. My off date with good behavior is September 21st of 2022, which is coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can modify where I'm at because it's throughout Shelby County, but I live in Decatur County. I'm on curfew. I can leave my house if I don't work during the day or whatnot. If I don't, like this Christmas shutdown stuff, I was allowed to leave my house at 8 a.m. and I didn't have to be back until 10 p.m. and I can go anywhere I wanted. Surrounding counties, I can go to people's houses, anything, go hang out, stay at somebody's house all day, whatever. But during the week when I work from 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I mean, I get out from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until the next morning, as long as I go to work that night.
Mm-hmm.
I leave in Greensburg at 10 o'clock, and I get to work, and then I stay there all night long. And when I get off work, I have to be home by 9 o'clock during the week, except for on Fridays. I get to be home at 11, and I can leave at 3 again.
Has this structure helped your recovery?
I feel free.
You feel free. Even on house arrest, you feel free.
Yeah.
And why do you feel free?
Because I'm doing the right thing, and I can go out and I can be in the public. I socialize with people. I'm here today.
Mm-hmm.
If I was on scheduled paperwork where I have to schedule my time out, this would probably be a problem.
I know you attended something that had a very significant impact on you, and I would like to talk about that a little bit because I know it's helped a lot of people, and I think it's important to mention. You recently did the Emmaus Walk.
Yes.
And where'd you do that at?
In Greensburg.
In Greensburg, Indiana?
Yes.
Explain to me what that experience was like and why was it so powerful?
Well, I can't go into a whole lot of detail because it'll give away everything, so somebody else wants to go. But when I went in there, I was told not to have any expectations. Don't expect nothing out of it. Just go in there open-minded. I did try to quit smoking when I went there. That didn't work so well.
Mm-hmm.
I did, the 72 hours I was there, I think I smoked 3 cigarettes. I learned a lot about myself. Learned a lot about God. I forgave some people that I never thought I would ever forgive. I got out of the Emmaus Walk, and I was the most calm, chillest guy you ever met for probably about 2 weeks.
So it had that kind of impact on you, just
It's a life-changing event.
life-changing event. So how does Chris Rousey today stay sober?
Helping other people, talking about my problems, people that I trust. I have a sponsor that I've had for right around about 2 months. I've went through my 4-step through CR. I've got a lot of things off my chest. I've given a small mini lead for the church because while I was at my Emmaus walk, I was having a hard time gathering my funds for my eye because it costs $2,600 for a prosthetic eye, and that's with insurance. I put in about $150 out of my pocket because I couldn't afford a whole lot, and I had help from my church that I go to, some friends and stuff from CR, the sheriff of Decatur County that I never thought would ever, law enforcement helped me like that. I never thought that would ever happen. And then there was a church in Westport, and I'm forever grateful for them. They donated $1,000. I found this out while I was in my Emmaus walk.
Wow, so you had a lot of people come out and support you and your recovery and your new life.
Yes.
How do you hope that today's interview with you, because I know I have some friends in Greensburg, and I know your reputation and what it used to be, sitting here today being who you are, a recovered man, you said it yourself, you're honest, you're dependable, you have sheriffs coming out to help you, church is giving you $1,000 for a new eye. Like, your life is completely different than what it used to be. How do you hope that this interview today impacts other people?
I was a low-life piece of crap. In my eyes, I was. I was the worst of the worst. I mean, some people might not think it was that bad, but I think it was the worst that I've ever been in my whole entire life. For me to be that low of a person, to rob, steal, cheat people, anything I could to get high, to who I am today, if I can do this, anybody can.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you for coming here today and doing this interview. And guys, you heard it here. I mean, this is a man that, from an early age, he got to experience alcoholism in his own family, watched his dad hit his mom, started smoking at the age of 12, and his addiction clearly progressed up to the time. I mean, he even shot up and blew his eye out, and that still wasn't enough. But he is sitting here today, a recovered man, like he just said. If he can do it,
anybody can.
Anybody can do it. And remember, shame can only thrive in secrecy, and the moment you speak aloud upon it, it will lose its power.